seen someone ask this question and it got me to thinking, you're right. Why haven't the Latin community called on the Asians that's in California to go out and march and help? Why is the call of action only to Black people? I just really want to know because they call themselves the model minority. So they supposed to be smarter, more educated. This is all per them. Why haven't y'all called on the Asians? Why do they get to sit back and chill? We already know they out to pew pew us.
Something that a lot of people don't understand. Asian people, we support the country. We support, the betterment of the country. We support that. So what is there to say? What is there to say? We support the deportations of illegals. It is honestly tiring because here's the thing. We want the country to be better.
I've been hearing about other minorities asking Black people to show up and protest against ICE. Ask the Asians instead. Our shit's already being rocked. The working class ones are going to be targeted by ICE just like the Latino community. Hell, a bunch of us are already being deported and often to the wrong country. And then as for the richer ones, Trump has already banned all Chinese students from coming to the US to study and has...
Hi guys, it is Sumi here again. I hope you're doing well. All my returning subscribers, you guys, I salute you. Whatever you add on this channel, it honestly means a lot to me. And if you're seeing me for the very first time, I hope you do consider subscribing on the channel. Tap on that bell so that every time I upload anything on here, you're always notified. Well, right now in this episode, there is a question posed to the Asians that why are the Latinos calling upon the Asians to come and help them through this protest? Obviously, I couldn't sleep without bringing these clips for you guys. So I came across very many videos of these Asians replying to this very question, and there is this video that went so viral of this Asian guy literally replying. I'm not going to say that most of the Asians really don't care. There are those ones that care, those ones who have been making videos crying, chicken-hearted ones. But there are those ones who are really cold-hearted and they're like, we don't really care. We don't care. So you guys, I want us to watch these clips. Let me know what you think about it down in the commentary.
I'll say this, right? I'm a nobody, but it's like I've been seeing so many people asking Asian creators to speak up about the whole riots in LA and all these deportation things. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. Asian people, we support the country. We support, the betterment of the country. We support that. So what is there to say? What is there to say? We support the deportations of illegals. It is honestly tiring because here's the thing. We want the country to be better. We want the country to be better. We want the country to, if you did it legally, if you stand in line, if you paid the price, right? You paid the money and all that, you did all the process, the paperwork, all the stuff, which usually most Asian people do. Why would we care about someone jumping in line, crossing the border and all this stuff? Why should we, be happy about that? We're not really, this is the thing where we're not really dependent. Asian people aren't really dependent on, migrant labor, right? Not like other people. We're not really dependent on migrant labor. So we're not going to cry that the U.S. is pretty much backing what they promised. The U.S. promised, or this presidency promised, that they would deport illegal immigrants. They're doing that. Why are you crying? Why are you crying about it? This is the thing where, you see it like these immigrants are waving the flags of other countries, burning down the flag of the U.S., and then you think Asian people want to support that? No, they want to stay away from that. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. That's the thing. Asian people want to, focus on themselves and their community and their country. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. So really, stop asking Asian influencers to speak up about it, because you won't like what they say. You won't like what they say. So really, it's better off that they do the content that they're doing instead of, say things you don't like. Because here's the thing. Asian people don't want to focus on the negativity and, say what they're really thinking. Deport, right? Deport illegal immigrants. They are fine with it. I've been seeing so many people asking Asian creators to speak up about the whole riots in LA and all these deportation things. This is something that a lot of people don't understand. We support the deportations of illegals. Why would we care about someone jumping the line, crossing the border, and all this stuff? You think Asian people want to support that? No, they want to stay away from that. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. That's the thing. Asian people want to, focus on themselves and their community. Stop asking Asian influencers to speak up about it.
The Asian community has played into the model minority myth since they entered this country. You never see Asians protesting. You never see Asians as a group sticking up for other groups, sticking up for themselves, even though they benefit from the fight that Black people and other groups do. They're the most white aligning minorities. And they want to just be like absent from society. They're almost like they exist in America to follow the rules, to not ruffle any feathers, and just to support whatever America does. And that is like white is right. That's the way forward. Now, that's not all Asians, right? That's not everyone in that community, but that's typically why they're not looking to Asians to have a fight. When have you ever seen Asians fighting? I really want you to think long and hard about that. As Black people, when have you seen Asians at the forefront of any fight? The only time I can think in history that I can think of that is when the riots happened in LA and the Asians were fighting back against being attacked. Other than that, so yeah, that's why they're looking at Black people and not Asians, because Black people fight for everything. There's so much to unpack there historically with the way Asians arrived to this country versus the way we exist in this country. No minority in this country exists how we do, because we've been here since before America was a country. So Black people have been fighting since we came to this country 400 years ago. So the mentality of how they exist here versus how we exist here is just completely night and day. And I think that for them, assimilating as much as they can and being as quiet as they can is just also culturally for them. Asians are not really loud, boisterous people. On top of that, I'm not making excuses for them, but that's just to answer your question. I don't think anyone would ever look to Asians to spearhead a fight. But Black people, they know we have been putting our lives on the line for a half a millennia because that's our existence here.
I've been hearing about other minorities asking Black people to show up and protest against ICE. Ask the Asians instead. Our shit's already being rocked. The working class ones are going to be targeted by ICE just like the Latino community. Hell, a bunch of us are already being deported and often to the wrong country. And then as for the richer ones, Trump has already banned all Chinese students from coming to the US to study and has banned all international students from coming to Harvard, which affects a whole lot of Asian international students. So anybody who looks Chinese, even if they're a US citizen, is going to be affected by this. He's put several South Asian countries on the travel ban list. So yeah, brown Asians are going to be affected too. Anyway, our voting numbers look very similar to Latinos. Just over half of us voted for Kamala and the rest went for Trump. We couldn't just fucking listen to Black people when they told us to vote for the Black lady who wasn't going to take all our civil rights away. And now we want them to come save our asses when they're getting whooped. Also, have you maybe considered that the feds want Black people to show up to the protests? Because then they have an excuse to escalate the violence. Then they have an excuse to call them riots. We saw what happened with the peaceful protests in 2020 after George Floyd was killed by a policeman. Also, if you've been paying any attention at all, Black people have been showing up to support Latinos who are potentially being deported. Look at all the videos from Compton. Just type Compton in your search bar. So why don't we do this? Why don't we let Black people make their own decisions? Stop expecting them to be your personal avengers. Mobilize the Asians. I know that if I'm in front of a cop at a protest, he's going to think twice about doing anything to me. He's not going to give me the same grace as a white person, but he's definitely going to give me more than he gives a Black person. And if you can't go to a protest, just fucking say something, especially if you live in California. Asians, I know there's a lot of you over there. I was born in the Bay Area, so I feel like I should say something. Anyway, yeah, mobilize the Asians. Stay safe out there.
So apparently, depending on the videos that I've come across, it seems even the Asians actually are not concerned. They don't care. They don't want to help the Latinos. Not because for them they can't be deported anytime from the United States, but I think they are literally preparing themselves because they know anything can happen to them. And besides, they also know what they have gone through in America with all their students' visas being revoked. They are pissed. They are like, okay, this is your turn, the Latinos. We are waiting for our turn. And by the time we shall be crying, no one will also come out and help us. So as the question is on the table that why aren't the Latinos and the Mexicanos looking for Asian people, the Chinese, help? So I don't intend to make this video very long because the one I uploaded already was very long. So I don't want this one to be so long. I just want to know what you guys think about the situation. This deportation is literally involving everybody. Everybody. So put down your commentary, and of course we shall meet again in another video that I'll be uploading later on. Actually, tomorrow. And by the way, I am realizing that this room where I'm at, it has echoes because it's an empty room. So I think I need to shift in the next video that I'll be uploading.